Welcome to this week's Ask Charlie. Welcome to my kitchen, and today I'm going to be talking to you about my Magimix. Why I love it, why it's an essential bit of kit in my kitchen, how I use it, and why I love it so much. I think I've had this one for about 8 years. They last a long time. Again, as with everything that I talk about, if you look after it, it will look after you. So, make sure that you clean it, that you put it away, that you store it somewhere, that you don't drop it, etc., etc. But I just find it so versatile, really handy, particularly when I'm catering for a lot of people. This always comes out, but actually it's something that I use at least 2 or 3 times a week. Now for our breadcrumbs, I'm going to use the smaller bowl with the smaller blade because today I don't want to make loads of breadcrumbs. But if I did want to make lots, then I would use this main bowl with the bigger blade, this one. And so it's really handy having the choice of what size. And then this bowl holds that bowl in place in there. So it's very clever how it all stacks together. And then pop the lid on. It has to be locked in place to turn on. So if it's not properly closed, you can't turn it on. So I love that safety feature if you've got children helping you in the kitchen and that isn't properly locked in place, they're not going to cut themselves. And I love the spout. I find it really handy. So I've just got some sourdough. I have got some white and actually some seeded. So we'll just have a little bit of a mixture of breadcrumbs. In that goes down the hatch and we will turn it on. And if you want finer breadcrumbs, just leave it running for a little bit longer. So there we are, those are my breadcrumbs. Now, because it's sourdough, they're not going to go into really, really fine breadcrumbs because of the crust on them. So if you want really fine breadcrumbs, then you would need to use a different type of bread. But I love a sort of rusticy breadcrumb like that. So that is how I use it for breadcrumbs. Now, if you want to make, for example, when I make my key lime pie, I use my Magimix and I will use the bigger bowl with the bigger blade. So I'll use that one and then I will pop my digestive biscuits, my butter, my cocoa powder into there, and just then you will end up with sand-like consistency using this, and I just find it really quick, really easy for things like that. So that is when I'm going for bigger quantities. Let's move on now to how I slice and grate. I have the option between the thicker grater and the finer grater, and then what's really clever is you turn them over and you have got your slicers. So that will do a thicker slice and that will do a thinner slice. You've got that there. You've got to make sure that you've got them the right way round because you can easily get it wrong. So make sure that when you put it in, just double check before you go for it, because before I have grated potatoes rather than slicing them by not double checking. So I use this spindle in the middle there. I think we'll let's finely slice some potatoes. So make sure that the grater is down and that the slice is up, and just pop that on there. And then you have to pop your lid on. Let's move those out of our way. I can peel my potatoes or I can leave the skin on. I'm going to leave the skin on for today's example. And you do need to make sure that they're roughly chopped so they can go down the spout, because this is where the spout is essential. So just roughly chop your potatoes, take that off. I start it running and just pop them in. And there we are, done. I have got finely sliced potatoes and it's just so effortless. And this is really great when you are catering for big numbers and you can just quickly whiz all of those up. And then sometimes you will end up with a little bit of potato on the top that can just go into the compost bin. So finely sliced potatoes, really handy for dauphinoise and things like that. It just blitzes them so quickly and so effortlessly. So I've just given it a quick rinse, and then we will use it for our carrots. It does go in the dishwasher, which is really handy, so you can just pop it all in the dishwasher and not need to wash it up. So again, I'm going to pop my bowl onto there, pop my spindle in place, and then I'm going to use the grater, so make sure that you have got that facing upwards. Slot that into position and pop your lid on and make sure it's clicked firmly into place. I'm going to I'm going to peel my carrots before I grate them. So just quickly whip the peel off. I use OXO peelers, and I just love them. I find them so easy to use. You can actually go up and down. I think I'm quicker just going down, but they are designed that you can do it both ways. But it's what you get used to and what works for you. And I find, I think it's my dyslexic brain. I struggle with going up and down. I just find it easier. I think I might take my fingernails off if I do it that way, but you can. They are so clever. And then I'm just going to take the tops off like so. And again, I'm going to keep all of this either compost, or I can use it for stock cubes. Now, again, just pop carrots in, and let's do one at a time. And that's how you grate. So quick, so easy. You've got those little bits that haven't grated. Again, those can go in for stock or compost. It depends. I end up with so much veg ends for stock cubes, but that is how I use the grating function. And again, really handy, particularly if you have got a lot of grating that you need to do quickly. It's also a great way to grate cheese. So you could grate, a big block of cheddar or parmesan or something like that, and then you can grate it up and pop it in the freezer and just use it from frozen grated. So, that is a great way of saving time, and maybe once a week just grating up lots of cheese if you've got, children and packed lunches or things like that. A really quick and easy way to grate carrots, cheese, whatever it is that you want to grate. I'm now going to show you how I make sauces using the Magimix. So mayonnaise, hollandaise, béarnaise sauce, things like that are really easy to make in the Magimix. So I thought we could make mayonnaise today. I have got some eggs from the hens, and I'm just going to use 2 egg yolks, and the egg whites I could use for meringues or something like that. So just carefully crack your eggs and just pop the whites into one bowl. So I've got my 2 egg yolks, and I'm just going to pop those straight into there. I'll just use a spatula to get that all out, that egg yolk cracked, but that's fine. There we are. I've squeezed half a lemon juice. This is actually a lemon that I had zested part of it, so that has gone in. And then some white wine vinegar, in fact a tablespoon of white wine vinegar. And that goes, and a teaspoon of Dijon mustard. You might be able to hear the puppies squawking in the background. They're getting quite noisy. Right, I've got all of that in there. We just need to add salt and pepper. So then 250 ml of oil. I'm using an olive oil, or you can use the neutral oil, but I prefer making mayonnaise with olive oil and it's better for you as well. So we want to add the oil in slowly. I'm going to turn this on and get the blade spinning and then slowly drizzle the oil in through the top. Don't add it too quickly. And make sure that it's running the whole time as you're adding it in. And I'm just going to check that I'm happy with the consistency. We might run it a little bit more. That's done. It's as easy as that. Oh, no, but I've dropped my spoon in. Whoops, hang on a minute. Well, I'll use this to do my taste test. So good. It is so good. Wow, that is delicious. And then decant it into a bowl. Look at that homemade mayonnaise, and it's just so quick and so easy, and it's foolproof. You can't get it wrong if you add the oil in through the top slowly. How delicious is that? And you know, tweak the recipe to your tastes. This is a spatula that comes with the Magimix, and it's quite handy because it's shaped around the blade so you can get every last bit out. I think I need to dig in and have a little bit of this now. So I've just chopped up some carrot. You cannot beat homemade mayonnaise. I was just thinking that I didn't talk to you about crumble and pastry, and that is something that I use my Magimix for the whole time, and I forgot to share that with you. So I'm just adding this in, and I am making some pastry this morning, just some plain short crust. So I've got 250 grams of flour, a good pinch of sea salt. My butter is in the fridge. It's 125 grams of unsalted butter, and I'm just going to grab that from the fridge. It's just roughly chopped up, and you want to leave that in the fridge until the last moment. You want it to be really cold. And I have got some milk here, and I'm just going to blitz the butter and the flour together, and then I'll slowly add in a tablespoon of milk at a time. Really important with pastry that you don't overwork it, so just enough until it comes together. And then I'm going to add, this is a dessert spoon, so I'm just going to add 2 dessert spoons of milk and mix it again. And probably another 3. So that's 5 dessert spoons in total. And I just find this a really quick, easy way to do pastry. And actually, a few more. That's another 3, so that's 8 in total. I think that will probably do the job. You just see it change in consistency. I'm actually going to add a little bit more, probably. It's almost 10 dessert spoons of milk. And then just mix it enough till it comes to look like that. Really important that you mix the milk in slowly. And once I've plopped it into my bowl, Now you can do this by hand, but it's just so much quicker to do it in the Magimix, and then just squidge it together into a ball and then cover it, place it in the fridge for 20 minutes. And there you are, short crust pastry, as quick and as simple and as easy as that. Really important with pastry that you don't overwork it. So look, it's just come together into a ball. So I'm not going to play with it, or just, my worktops are clean, so don't worry. Literally cover that and then leave it for at least 20 minutes before rolling it out and using it. And I'm going to use this to make a quiche for lunch today. And remember, you can do similar with crumble toppings. And I actually cheat my Christmas mince pies. I make the pastry in here, and I normally make quite a lot of mince pies, and it just makes it so much quicker and so much easier. But remember, add the liquid slowly. You can always add more. You can't take it away. And that is why I love my Magimix so much. It's such a helping hand in the kitchen. I find it really versatile. The different ways I've shared with you today are probably, you know, the most frequent things I use my Magimix for. There are lots of different ways of using it as well. I touched on using this bit of kit to whisk eggs and things like that. There's lots of different things, but these are my favourite ways of using it. I find it so useful in the kitchen. I love it. And again, as I said earlier, I've had it for quite a few years, and it just keeps going. You can get replacement bits if you need to, but if you look after it, it will look after you. I hope that you have enjoyed what I've shared with you. Remember, with the mayonnaise, this is just my basic recipe, which I will leave linked in the description of this video. Tweak it to your taste. Add garlic in and make an aioli. You can make it into a Mary Rose sauce by adding tomato into the basic mayonnaise. I actually use tomato ketchup, and I would admit the Dijon mustard. So many different ways of using it, and I hope that has been helpful for you. I hope if you've got a Magimix, it's given you a little bit more confidence to use it in different ways. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you on Friday with this week's vlog.